we're back once again connecting with Stephanie Staples and Your Life Unlimited. Now, Stephanie was a nurse and she changed her life and she found her calling as a motivational speaker. And it's her mission to help people who help people so that they can help people and themselves. And I love that. And then there's just so much more to that. And it's always great to see you.
Thank you. We always have a good chat, don't we?
We do. And it's just endless. Like the lists are endless.
Yeah. Lists are endless.
And the reason I said that is because we're going to talk about lists. And lists can actually help decrease stress and anxiety, which I think is amazing. Research actually shows that having a plan decreases your anxiety and the results in feeling then less overwhelmed. Feel like you have more control in your life. And so it's a kind of a really neat idea. And what I like is that there's more than just one kind of a to-do list, right?
Well, the oftentimes lists can be so awesome, so wonderful, so positive, so proactive. But there are people that are like, they see a list, they hear the word list, and they freak out, and they don't like that either. So, maybe we could think about the name for a list in a different language, and maybe there's another way to say it. I don't know.
Because it's true. Like, even though they're so good for us and they can help us, they can also, add to people's anxiety and stress in the sense of, oh my gosh, there's another list. But I think it's all in how you look at it. And that's what you've broken down. And I really like this. And I think it's, you can find something that works for you that actually does lift you up and makes you feel better, and that it's achievable. So let's kind of walk through sort of your idea of lists and, how you could potentially name them. And maybe if we're really lucky, we'll someday think of another name for the word list.
Well, it's so funny because actually I never thought of that until I heard you, until I heard your preamble. I was like, oh, because not everybody, loves that word. And now I'm going to look it up in Spanish because everything sounds nicer in Spanish.
So. Yeah, that's true. All right, give us some examples of some lists.
Okay, so one that I love is the to-be list. Like, who do I want to be this time next year? And imagine asking yourself that question, like, who do I want to be this time next year? And probably more importantly is, what do I have to do to grow into that? So one of the things for me this year, like, I want to be a swimmer. I want to be a swimmer. I want to be able to swim like an adult with my head underwater and like swimming like not with my nose plugged. I just want to be a swimmer. So in order to be a swimmer next year, I need to take swimming lessons. I need to go to the pool once a week. I need to make a commitment to change my mindset about, oh, I can't do that. So I don't know, for what might be on your to-be list for you, Linda?
Yeah, and I really love that. And I actually did find something to put on my to-be list, and that was to reconnect with my yoga mentor.
Ooh.
As I teach yoga on top of the other things that I do, and I was feeling like I was kind of stuck, right? Because I teach the same way and do the same. And I'm like, I wonder if my teacher is still doing some private, because I know that she still teaches. She's 75 years old, by the way, and she's incredible.
More power.
She is so strong. And so I said, I'm going to invest in me and in my students. And so I do one-on-one sessions with her a couple times a week, a couple times a month now, I should say. I couldn't afford a couple times a week, but a couple times a month. And it has totally changed. Like, I feel incredible because of it. Just that one thing that I decided to do and made that, what to be.
Okay, right on.
Because I wanted to be a better teacher.
And it's working already, right?
Oh, it was instant. Like, my very first session with her changed. It just was a complete shift. And I didn't realize that I could do this to be list, but I've got a couple other things on there. So, I saw the difference and I'm like, this makes a difference.
So a couple of things about that is you had that awareness of what I want to do, what needs to change and how that needs to happen. And you invested in yourself. You invested your time, your energy, your money. Like, that's a big thing, right? And to do that, you have to be like, I am worth that. I am worth investing my time, my energy, my money. You have to be forward thinking to say, after I do this, I am going to come out different than when I went in. So it's an investment. So it's all a great mindset. Mm-hmm. Congratulations.
I like that too, to say that it's an investment in yourself to find, what you want for that time next year.
And
right. And I wanted to be a better teacher. So and this will help me.
You are, and you will be. And you also just inspired me too with what you said. I did write down this list of lists that I like, but you just gave me a new idea. What if you wrote like an inspiration list? Mm-hmm. Like people that inspire you, right? Like your yoga teacher does. Mm-hmm. And like I could write down the flight attendant that I talked about last week on our show. And sometimes if you were feeling kind of yucky or bad, or you want to be more inspiring, you could reflect on these people that have been like, who made a positive difference in your life and who, you know, you aspire to be like in some way, shape, or form. That would be cool. An inspiration list. I like it.
It would, and then it ties into the gratitude list, right? And I think that that's such a strong one too. Like the to-do list doesn't have to be a list of tasks that you've got to get done in a day or in a week. It like, this is what I'm loving about this, right? The to be, the inspiration, gratitude. Let's talk about that one, because I think that that's one we hear so much about, is the things in our lives that we should be grateful for.
Yeah. And it's, you know, it's nice to think, oh yeah, I'll think about that at the end of the day or whichever. And actually, I'm just going to quickly turn around over here and see if I have it handy. But well, I've got so many. Like this one we kept on our kitchen table when my kids were younger. And we would pass it, like literally pass it around the table. And, you know, and at first they're like, I don't want to do it, of course. But everybody would write down like one thing that they were grateful for and one thing that they were, you know, happy about or whatever. And it's super neat to go back and reflect. So I think like buying a journal that you like, this one's, you know, nice and bright and colorful for me. I like that purple one also, and leaving them by your bedside or in the bathroom or somewhere that you know, will access it easily. Having a pen, like a purple pen, because I think it's fun to write with, and just to make that a pleasurable experience for you. And that you deserve something nice. And then writing, it doesn't have to be like 100 things. It's just one or two things. And makes you think. I
like the idea, like go out and buy something like a journal that will make you happy, that you can write these lists into. Because then it's your time and your space. I think also having that beside your bedside table is great, because then it's something that you can, you know, do at night or you can wake up to in the morning. It just sort of sets the stage or ends the day for you. And those are so important overall for our mental well-being. Like it really does make a difference.
And to train the kids to do it as well. So I've been doing it with my grandson when I drive him to school, because he can be very, this is the worst thing in the world. This is horrible. The world is going to fall apart, he says. Like, well, today we're going to focus on like what's going right so far. It's 8:30 in the morning and we're driving to school. And so now every day I ask him, okay, we're going to think of 3 things that happened already today that you have to be grateful for. And he's like, there's nothing. He's 5. But, you know, I said, oh, like, how did you get, what happened when you woke up this morning? Like, he says, well, I went to the bathroom. I says, well, how did you get to the bathroom? Well, I walked. I'm like, oh, did you know that some kids can't walk to the bathroom? Like they have to like get carried to the bathroom, or some kids don't have a bathroom. Anyway, I go on. And he just like, really? But even we forget to be grateful for that simple, like a flush toilet, or, you know, the opportunities that we have.
Yeah, what a great perspective. And it's so nice to you know, give that to your grandson, because we do forget. We forget. And that's why those gratitude lists, because then you do have to go, okay, well, what am I grateful for? I have nothing to be grateful for. And then you go, well, okay, wait a minute. Yes, I do. I can turn my tap on and get fresh water to drink. And there's people even in, you know, our North American world that can't do that. Like it's, you know, it like we've got to look at these things and find ways to see the world through a different light, and these great lists like gratitude.
Well, I was just was presenting at an event in Vancouver on the weekend, and we were talking about grateful and whatever. And this woman said, well, I have to do laundry when I get home. What's great about that? And I said, like, you know, I've been to El Salvador doing mission work. Like I saw people doing their laundry in the river. Like that's how they were doing their laundry. So when I do my laundry, like I throw it in a machine, which does basically all the work. Then I throw it in another machine, and all I really have to do is fold it. So it's like, to me, there's like so much to be grateful about laundry. And if I don't feel like doing laundry, guess what? I have more clothes in my closet. I can just keep wearing more clothes. So there's like, it's all perspective, you know?
Yes,
I want
to sure it is.
Because it makes me feel better.
Yeah. And being aware of these things. And I think that that's something too, that as I looked through the incredible different lists of lists that you have, I'm like, these are so great because they can help us, they can teach us, they can make us better people, because of taking a look at our lives through a different lens. So what are some of the other ones that you've come up with?
Well, here's something that people I bet won't do, but I think it's a great idea personally. Like, it's the to-do list. So this is a list of big or small wins
Love it.
that you wouldn't mind getting some recognition for, but you probably won't. Like I held my cool in that situation where I really didn't want to hold my cool. Or I cleaned the bathroom today. I didn't really want to do that, but I did that. I went for my hike. I said I was going to go for a hike today, and I went for a hike. I said those 3 emails to let people know what I do about my business, and it's like, I didn't want to do that, but I actually did. So, ta-da! Like, ta-da!
Love the to-do list. Just the name is great. Makes me laugh. Ta-da!
Right. And it could be like, sometimes, maybe we signed up for an event, or we do this great big thing that's like, they give you a medal for, like, great. But mostly there's hundreds of little tiny wins throughout the week that we're like, we did it. Like, we made another dinner for our family again, good for us. We went to the grocery store, whatever we did it, Why not celebrate these little things?
Creative. And then the other one that I found really interesting when looking through, again, on your website, you've got all these great blogs, and you talked about a psychology professor, I think it was in California, that found, what was it, over 40%, like 45%, you're more likely to achieve your goals if you write them down. So having that list of like the great, amazing adventures or things, life things that you want to achieve.
Yeah. Like, if you don't like the name bucket list, I like the name adventure list, or a life list, and maybe it could be like divided into things like, okay, things I want to do before, the end of my life. But, we don't know if we've got 5 years or 10 years, or we don't know how much, 50 years, we don't know how much time we have left. So I prefer it to be kind of like this is what I want to do, this year, this year, these are reasonable things. These ones can wait, but which things are more of a priority to me? And I can't remember if we've talked about this on a previous episode, but my friend calls it YIDE, Year Inspiring Defining Event. So every year he has like one thing that like makes that year stand out. So maybe it's a one-on-one trip with one of his kids to somewhere, or like one, an event of some sort that makes, 2024, that was the year I did the Kusum climb. That is my thing for this year. So that's a different way of just, because sometimes if it's just a bucket list before I die, it's like it's too far away, right? It doesn't seem like, I better get on that, or I better start doing things I better start training, or I better start taking some classes, or it's too far away.
Yeah, what a great way to be able to reflect back on years as well, right? To look at what you were able to achieve. So that's amazing.
So writing that down is so awesome, because then every year you can go back and look and say, this is the year I did this, and this is the year I did that. And it makes you, because it's otherwise, life can get, I don't know if you've noticed at all, probably not for you, Linda, but it can get mundane. It can get routine. It can get boring. We work, we shop, we cook, we sleep, it's like, let's throw something in our life. If we want to live our life unlimited, like, let's go. Like, what are we waiting for? It's time to take small steps. And even when we start, so say maybe I'm training for this climb, like even just the climb is one thing, but all the training for it and going hiking with my friends and all that stuff that leads up to it, that's all filling me up too, right? It's all making me a better person. It's all connecting with other people. It's being in the fresh air, all those things that the climb. Yeah, that's awesome. If I can do that at the end, super duper, it's going to be wonderful. But all the things that are leading up to that are still huge wins.
Yeah, that's a really wonderful way to put that, because it isn't just that big thing that you're going to do, and congratulations on putting that on your list of what you want to do, but it's the leading up to it, like the connections, the getting out in nature, all the things that you'll be doing to achieve that one main thing on that list.
Well, like your yoga, like even if, so say you decided I decided, what, all this is done. I'm not going to teach yoga anymore. Like, I'm kind of done. But even that experience you had with this 70-something-year-old lady and all that, you like, that's already a win. Even if you never did it at the end, it would still be, I'm guessing it would still be a win that you got to connect with her and do that with her.
100%. Right? I feel so amazing when I come out of that session with her, Right. So, there is something to be said about the list of lists. And, you know, research does show that they can really help provide that clarity in our lives. So some takeaways for people, breaking it down, even if you're a little nervous about lists. Steph, what can you tell listeners?
The list is your friend. It's kind of like your phone. Your phone can be a distraction. Your phone can be annoying. Your phone can be, but this is a tool. It's a tool to help our life get better. And we need to be the boss of it, and we need to control it. The list is the same thing. The list is supposed to make your life easier. It's supposed to help you feel accomplished. It's supposed to give you ideas for the future. It's supposed to make you feel good. So use it to your benefit. Use it in a way that serves you. It doesn't have to be the way anybody else does it, but use it in a way that will make you feel good and make your life easier.
I love it. Harness the power of lists. Write things down. That's nice. A quote from you. Anything else before we go, Steph?
You know, can you just make a fun and relaxation list so that when you're like stressed and you don't know, like, oh, I don't know what I need, I'm just cranky and miserable, you know, have a list there, like, and just here's the 10 things that make me feel better. And then you don't even have to think about it. You just pick one or two of those things and you just do them. Making positive, proactive lists is one more way to live your life unlimited.
Love it. Thanks.